Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host, Carlson, and in today's episode, we are talking about being a work in progress. Alright, folks, to set the scene for you, I am in the TV room in our house. I really wanted to be in my mom's car, but I could not find the car keys, and for the life of me, I looked. I don't want to go upstairs and check because everybody's asleep. But the time is 3:30 a.m., Friday the 13th of January 2023. Speaking of 13, that's Taylor Swift's favorite number. And it's weird because this week, I haven't listened to the 3 a.m. tracks, but this week when I was listening to music on YouTube, one of the songs from the 3 a.m. track snuck into the playlist, and the song is called Would've, Could've, Should've. When I listened to the song for the first time, I got goosebumps. Like, I kid you not, the hair on my back and my hands stood. You'd think I was electrocuted. It's so amazing, and I don't want to spoil it for you, so if you haven't listened to it, you can pause this podcast, go give it a listen, and then come back. I will wait. I will gladly wait because it's amazing. An hour ago, I made myself a hot chocolate and I was watching Jane the Virgin because I had an extremely long day, which I will touch on in a second. But I needed to decompress and relax. And I'm not someone who usually rewatches shows, but Jane the Virgin is such a comfort show. And I was watching it and I forgot the plot. I mean, I know the big stuff that happens, but I forgot some of the things that happened. And I was watching episode 7 in season 1. And I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot this happened. It was so wholesome and funny and cool. So that's how my evening was. So for today's episode, I'm talking all about being a work in progress. One of my favorite quotes. And to top it off, I heard it on the wonderful Sophia Bush's podcast. She was in One Tree Hill, if the name is familiar or rings a bell. And the quote reads, I am a work in progress and a masterpiece simultaneously. When I first heard this quote, my oh my, was I blown away. I love what it stands for. I love how humane it is and how humbling it is, yet very empowering at the same time. I mean, what? It's amazing. Something happens when I'm about to record an episode, and I kid you not, it's been happening a lot, especially for this bonus season I'm releasing, where usually what I do is I come up with a topic or an idea, and then I plan what I want to talk about, and then record the episode. However, weirdly enough, I'm not even kidding right now, everything I talk about in most episodes coincide with what I'm going through in my life. And I'll give you an example. This week, I had a couple of deadlines, and one of these deadlines or projects really got to my head while I was working on it. It triggered some stuff in me that made it hard to get through the work and even sit with myself honestly. You know when you're triggered by something or you're going through something and then you just find it difficult to process your emotions and you just feel weird and uncomfortable? Yeah, that's what I was going through. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this may sound hella weird to you, but stick with me. It'll make sense in a little bit. I felt heavy while doing this project and the imposter syndrome kicked in, as it does. To be honest with you, this has happened a couple of times in the last year, and it's frustrating. The thing is, when I first experienced this last year, I had not experienced this before, and it felt like no one else experienced it except me. It was one of those weird things. And then when I heard someone talk about it, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one who goes through this. This is amazing. Not amazing in terms of someone else goes through it, but amazing in terms of I'm not like an alien or weird. It's just one of those things people don't share or talk about, I suppose. On a positive note, one thing I did to combat this is I gave myself a mini break. I'm talking about this week. I gave myself a mini break and then came back to it and persevered. Now the project ended up being better than I thought it would be, to be honest. And I was proud of myself. But there were many moments of self-doubt and inner critique And low-key even shame I faced and battled while I was doing this project. And once the project was done, I felt so much relief and happiness. Now you may wonder, why on earth am I sharing this? How is it relevant? How is it important? The last few times I felt this overwhelmed while doing a project, it was heavier than what I felt this week. And I honestly hated how it felt. The last times it happened, I was so close to not pulling through, but I am a work in progress. Things in life tend to get messy, they get complicated, they are frustrating, yet we learn how to manage these things and we conquer and we survive and we persevere through all these different feelings. We persevere. And that is what life is about, the highs and the lows. It's funny. I need to stop saying it's funny, but it is funny because these coincidences I have happen a lot. Like this week I was on TikTok and I saw this video of this guy talking about, he's actually an actor. He acted in the series Hollywood, so I was so surprised. I think I talked about the show Hollywood a couple of weeks ago when I recorded an episode. But so that's why I was like, oh my god, how is this guy on my TikTok? I literally just watched a show of him not long ago. But he was talking about how he was telling his therapist how the highs are really high and the lows he feels are really low, and he just wants to control it and reduce it, reduce the lows, and leave the highs high. And his therapist said, if you think of life like the monitor that measures the heart in the hospital, it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. And if you try and push the low to be in the middle or slightly towards the middle, you could flatline and die. When I heard him say this, I was moved and I was like, it's so true, because life is full of ups and downs. And don't get me wrong, some people have the lows lower than, one should be or have experienced, and it's horrible that people go through horrible things, and my heart reaches out to them. But this idea of people really wanting, just the idea in general of wanting life to be full of good, and the balance is what makes life's full of ups and full of downs. And the more downs or lows we have, the more we appreciate the highs, and we get to know that we can survive and persevere and push through all these different things, because we are a work in progress. Life is all about being aware. It's education, it's awareness. We are a constant work in progress. If you think of a masterpiece, the temperance comes through finding what works and discarding what does not. It's like finding a stone and building something beautiful. Literally the same with diamonds. The process of making a diamond, can you imagine all that heat, all that pressure to make these gems and treasures? I kind of paused for a second because I've been saying imagine a lot, and my mom, when I'm talking to my mom and I just say imagine, she goes, what is there to imagine? I don't understand. I don't know. Imagine, like, why would someone do that? It's like, why are you using that time? You've been using that word so much recently. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like it. And to be honest, I've been listening to a few of Ariana Grande songs, specifically the ones with Mac Miller. One of my favorite ones is called My Favorite Part. If you haven't listened to this song, you need to go listen to it as well. Oh my god, is this becoming another favorites episode? I recorded a favorites episode last week, which I will probably release next week. And I talked about a lot of my favorites in that episode and recommended so many things for you to go listen to. But yeah, you need to go listen to Would Have, Could Have, Should Have by Taylor Swift, and My Favorite Part by Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. I've been listening to her songs, specifically I would say the Positions album. She did a few songs with Vevo as a music video on YouTube, and one of her songs called Bloodline, I just discovered that song this week actually, I'm not even kidding, and I'm obsessed with that song. It's so sneaky and very clever, so go listen to that too. I'm gonna link everything down below. I know I talk a lot about different stuff, but we're almost done with this episode. It was going to be really short, so I feel like I'm kind of filling time in here. But yeah, I was talking about diamonds and how it's made, all the pressure and all the heat it experiences to be treasures. One last thing I will leave you with, as part of being a work in progress, is to have an open mind. There is so many benefits to having an open mind. For instance, you grow personally, you become mentally strong, You also have new experiences. There's so many more benefits of being open-minded. But the most important thing for me while having an open mind is that you become empathetic. With being open and understanding people and their cultures and their experiences and just different things in your life, we are less likely to discriminate, to hate, to show aggression to people. And that's all we need in this world. We need more love, we need more empathy, we need graciousness, because we are all a work in progress. People deal with so many issues that no one's even aware of. Okay, now I'm kind of ranting, but we see people on Instagram with their highlight reels, and we see even people in our day-to-day lives and think, oh my god, they have an amazing car, or oh my god, like they have the perfect family, oh my god, they have a boyfriend, oh my god, they have a house, oh my god, they're getting married, oh my god, she has a degree. All these different things that you may want to admire in someone else, and you really don't know what someone's going through. You really never know. People hide things so much, and it could be that they don't want, obviously, people to know what they're going through negatively, but it could just be shame, or it could be feeling heavy of being unable to share with someone that you're going through something and you need help. There's so many things. So be empathetic, be open-minded, be kind, be loving, be gracious. We need more grace in this world. We need more grace for other people and for ourselves. And don't forget to give yourself grace. I think those are the last things I'll say for this topic. Now moving on to the segments. Oh my god, I think we're going to do 20 minutes. This is awesome. I'm excited. I was like, this episode's going to be 10 minutes long. But no, here we are. Okay, an interesting thing that happened this week. You're not going to believe what I did. I wrote my first song. This is insane. This is actually insane. I've wanted to write for a long time. I was at my grandmother's place helping her the other day on Tuesday night, and I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like, hey, let me just try and write and figure out how this goes. And I wrote a whole song in 30 minutes. The hook, the chorus. Okay, there's a mosquito that just came and it kind of killed my vibe. Yeah, I wrote a whole song, which was insane. And I haven't come up with the melody or how I want the instruments or sounds to be. It's not like I'm going to be singing this one day publicly. Who knows? It's just something I did for fun. But I realized I really love writing. I like trying to figure out words and rhyming and putting things together and expressing my emotions through words. Yeah, some of my favorite songs are songs that express emotions and make you feel what they're feeling, but you can also interpret it in your life. Examples of artists who do this perfectly. This mosquito. Examples of artists who do this perfectly are Olivia Rodrigo, obviously, if you've listened to her album Sour. Taylor Swift, she does this beautifully. People sit on Taylor Swift because, she's been in the industry for a very long time. She's had beef. Okay, not beef, but she's been in the spotlight for like men or Kanye West or different things. But her lyrics, she's a lyrical genius. That, I give it to her for sure. And another artist who I really like is, Sabrina Carpenter, of course, Lennon Stella. I'm going to stop because I could go on forever. What am I grateful for this week? I am grateful for sushi. I bet you didn't see that one coming. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw last week I put up on my Instagram on Friday, I believe. I went out with two of my aunts, and one of my aunts was kind enough to treat us both to sushi, which is amazing. This place is heavenly. I literally feel like I'm having the real. It's very authentic. Let me put it that way. And also I'm grateful for family. Today specifically, yesterday, I had moments with each member of my family, my mom, my dad, and every single one of my brothers. I had memorable moments with them. We were all laughing and happy, and it was wholesome. So I'm grateful for that too. My word to the wise. Obviously, this is a work in progress episode, and it's going to be, I can be both a work in progress and a masterpiece simultaneously, by the Sophia Bush. Thank you so much, my beautiful people, for listening to this episode. kind of random, kind of out there, but this is what I feel like recording. So have a beautiful week, and I will catch you next week. Goodbye. Stay blessed.